5 of the worst Ferrari cars of all time. Now I'm talking about F1 here, I'm not talking about road cars. And if I might just ask for a second of your time to hit the like button and subscribe, and turn on notifications for more F1 videos like this every couple of days. Twice a week, more specifically. So, let's begin. Number 1, the Ferrari 312 T5 of 1980. The 5th year of using the successful 312T car designed by Mauro Forchieri for the 1976 season wasn't a good car in 1980 compared to 1979. The 1979 car captured the title with Jody Scheckter and Gilles Villeneuve, as Scheckter won the title ahead of Villeneuve in a dominating season for Ferrari. However, this season was the complete opposite of successful, as, keep in mind, they had 2 of the most successful drivers of the era, Scheckter and Villeneuve. They finished just 10th in the Constructors, and I'm pretty sure were the last team to score points in the Constructors that year and be officially counted, as they only scored, I'm pretty sure, 8 points in the entire season, as Scheckter scored a best finish of 5th place at Long Beach, and so did Villeneuve in Monaco and at his home track in Canada. Villeneuve also scored 1 point each in Zolder and Hockenheim, and after the season ended, Scheckter retired. So, yeah, let's see what you like of that one. Also, I want to point out, you're going to be thinking that the SF1000 is going to be a god tier of a car now, after you hear about some of these cars. Number 2, the 312 B2 and B3 of 1973. The 312B, which was the predecessor to the already mentioned 312T, was at the end of its lifespan in 1973, and it wasn't very quick, as the car, which was driven by Arturo Merzario, also known as Art Merzario, and a very, very talented driver, Jackie Eakes, how can I put it, they only scored 6 points by each driver, as Merzario scored 2 4th places in Interlagos and in Kyalami, and Eakes scored a 4th place in Buenos Aires and 2 5th place finishes in France and in Interlagos, and a 6th place in Sweden. And because of this, the team had a very poor result, as they finished 6th in the Constructors with just 12 points, and had Eakes had all of his points from Ferrari, he would have been only 12th in the championship, tied with Arturo Merzario, his teammate, as he drove for McLaren and Williams at other parts of the season, which meant that he finished 9th in the championship in the end. And now we're going to move on to number 3, the 158 from 1965. The 158 was a good car, but contrast to the previous year of, oh wait, that's the wrong one. The number 3, the 1967 car, the 312.66 and the 312.67. After the successful 1966 season, Ferrari struggled in Monaco, and just in general, as in Monaco, team leader Lorenzo Bandini unfortunately died after suffering burns in a crash, and then Mike Parks had got re-signed by the team before he too had an accident a couple of races later at Spa, and all of their points came courtesy of Chris Amon, who scored all 20 points for the team and scored, I believe, 4 podium finishes in Monaco, Spa, Silverstone and at the Nordschleife. And the team were 5th in the Constructors, as was Amon in the drivers. But just because he was 5th in the drivers doesn't mean it was a good year for the team, as they had 2 big accidents, and for the majority of the season they had 1 driver. The F14T 2014. The F14T, which is well known for its vacuum wing, as Arava would term it, scored only 2 podiums with Fernando Alonso at the Chinese and Hungarian GPs of that year. Despite this, Alonso finished 6th in the Drivers' Championship, behind only Sebastian Vettel, Valtteri Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo, Nico Rosberg, and eventual champion Lewis Hamilton. And his teammate Kimi Räikkönen, his new teammate Kimi Räikkönen, scored only a best of 4th at Spa-Francorchamps, and finished only 12th in the Drivers' Championship, and Alonso, on the other hand, finished on 161 points compared to Räikkönen's 55. Because of the new regulations, the car was a lot slower than the previous year, and I'll even compare it for you. In 2013, Ferrari scored 354 points, and was third in the constructors, with Alonso being runner-up and then Ferrari driver Felipe Massa finishing 8th, with Massa on 112 and Alonso on 242 points. Meanwhile, the Ferrari alone that year in 2014 was worse than Alonso's year in 2013, and they only scored 216 points and finished 4th in the constructors. And finally, number 5, the Ferrari 92A, 1992. After having Alain Prost and John Alesi finish 5th and 7th in the championship in 1991, people were hoping it would be a high year for Ferrari, despite Prost getting sacked by the team after he called it, I'm pretty sure, a bus. I'm pretty sure that's what he called it. But the car was anything but this. And according to driver Ivan Capelli, this sums up the car perfectly. It was the worst car he drove in his career. And keep in mind, he drove the Leighton House in 1989 and 1990, I'm pretty sure. With Alesi finishing just 7th in the championship and getting podiums, although he did finish 7th the previous year. He finished on the podium twice in Catalonia and Montreal and scored 18 points. But Capelli, on the other hand, only scored 3 points, which is probably the worst total from a Ferrari driver since the 1970s, or 1980, I'm pretty sure is what it was. As he only scored 3 points, 2 in Interlagos and 1 at the Hungarian GP, and Ferrari was just 4th in the constructors, and 70 points behind Benetton in 3rd. And that's exactly the point. And the reason why the car was slow was due to the poor reliability of it. Like with 2014's being extremely slow in a straight line. So if you guys did enjoy the video, as I said in the beginning, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all for the next video.